My name's John, and I'm an addict. All right, so how it was, what happened, and how it is now. So, I'm 38 years old. I'm from Ohio. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad owned a slaughterhouse. He was a butcher, and my mom was a police officer, a sex crimes detective, and she retired a U.S. Marshal. Yeah. So, like, like from the rip, my mom wanted me on the right track. They paved like a good road for me. My sisters are doing super good. I have two younger sisters, but like my mom, I'll never forget. Like I was like in fourth grade, and she like permed my hair, and like I had like spikes. She dressed me up like Billy Ray Cyrus with a cowboy shirt, and she sent me to school for my school pictures. And I was like, I remember smiling. The lady's like, "Put your head up." I remember smiling for the school pictures, and I'm like, I'm never gonna listen to this lady again. Like, and I kind of never have. So like ever since then, I just kind of like I was super young, just doing my own thing. She spent a lot of time with my sisters. My sisters showed horses professionally, so I like did the dirt bike thing, the motorcycle thing, and yeah. When I was 16, I had a street bike and ran from the cops the first 4 hours I was on my street bike, wrecked it, lost my license for 4 years, got my first felony, and it kind of just spiraled out of control from there. I was like, so my biggest case was I got caught selling 9 pounds of weed to an undercover cop inside of a grocery store. Yes. And I had my coat, I was in Ohio, so it was cold. I had my coat full of weed, and I'm like in the grocery store. They like shut down the whole grocery store. There was, what do you call them, drug enforcement officers everywhere. I made the front page of the paper because we came from like a small town in Ohio, right outside of Akron, Ohio, where AA started. Kind of cool. But yeah, so I like started going to jail then. I got 7 felonies the first time I got arrested. They gave me probation, but I kept violating probation and ended up catching more charges. And so from like my whole 20s, I was in and out of prison. I did like probably like 7 years total. But the last prison sentence I did was 37 months. And I remember my mom picked me up. I went to jail and I was like, I don't know, 149 pounds. And I like walked out of there like 197 pounds, like covered in tattoos. I was like not the same person my mom, you know, as when I started. I wasn't the same person. And my mom didn't want me to come back home. And I remember her just driving right by the house. And I'm like, where are you going? She's like, you're not coming to my house. Yes. And she dropped me off like 12 hours from home in North Carolina and gave me $2,000 and was like, good luck. You're not on drugs, you're not on probation, go start a life. And I was like, damn, like, so I'm like in North Carolina and I'm like, where's my connect at? Because I haven't talked to my connect in like 3 years. So I look him up on Facebook and he's like, oh man, I'm in California, man. It's sweet out here. So I took a bus all the way out to California. It took me 3.5 days. And yeah, my $2,000 went like in 10 days. And I was like, oh fuck. And my mom wasn't letting me come home. So I had to like start a life out here. So I like got some telemarketing job. And it was involved like calling people on the phone and getting their credit card numbers. So I'm like super good at manipulating. Yes. And so I like came up super quick and like got the girl, the car, little apartment, girl moved in, girl's mom moved in, girl's mom's boyfriend moved in, everybody moved in. And I was like, oh my God, this is too much. And I just like went back to my old ways and started getting high again. And yeah, I got into like, when I was out here, I got into like a bad crowd. I was involved with recovery places that were like doing insurance scams and making money doing body broking and things like that. And I've been like doing the insurance thing, like I've been out here 10 years and I did it for like 7 years. I haven't done it for a couple years, but I was just like getting people paid to go in rehabs and like making money off insurance policies and just doing all this dirtbag grimy shit. So I like so everyone started getting arrested, and like that kind of hustle like went down the drain. So I like started doing fraud online, and yeah, I started doing fraud online, and I ended up what happened was I ended up starting to go in and out of LA County Jail, and so I did 7 months for identity theft, got out for 5 weeks, and then I caught a residential burglary. I stole a car. I didn't like rob anyone's house. I stole a car, but since the roof of the parking garage was attached to the lady's house, they gave me residential burglary, and I was like, damn, like I could go to prison, and when I get out of prison, I'm just gonna be like stuck being like with nothing again with this super toxic girlfriend with no money, like trying to like figure out my life, and it hasn't been working for the last 7 years. I really like I'll get like some money and do good, but I'm like doing high good. Like I'm not like doing good. I'm just like staying high and living in hotels and staying at other people's houses. So I like convinced the judge like I stole the lady's vehicle because I was on drugs. And I went back to court like 10 times. I had some weapons charges, so she didn't want to send me to a couple programs. And yeah, so eventually she let me come to Fred Brown, and so they're like, okay, we'll give you a program, but like this is your last chance. You're gonna take a strike, and if you mess up this program, you're gonna do 4 years in prison. And I'm like, deal, whatever. Like I just want out of here, please. Like, and so they did my interview in jail, and Fred Brown, they're like, oh yeah, we'll pick you up in 10 days. And they didn't pick me up for like 2 months. And I was like, fuck. But I was like in there, and I was like, well, maybe there's a reason why they're not picking me up. Like it's like at the same time I had like one of my best friends die from an overdose, and I like I'm a mama's voice, so I'm always blowing my mom up in jail, like talking to her, and she's like, yeah, your best friend Brian died, and so I was like, I'd be like laying in my bunk, and I'd be like, damn, like I was in like 2300 in the gang unit because I got fired from trustee for showering in the kitchen. And so they had me in the gang unit for some reason. And so I'm in the gang unit, and I'm like, damn, like my friend Brian would do anything to be laying in this bunk where I'm at right now. And so I always like, when like things are going negative, I always think about like how many friends I've had that passed away that would love to be in my shoes, no matter how bad I'm doing. And basically, it's like, so the program picks me up, and I like meet Nancy. Nancy like greeted me with a hug. She was super nice. And I don't look at you like I need to make my bed. I don't care about that. I just make my bed, and it's never an issue. So she's just a good person. She tells me all these great stories, and I'm literally like, when I'm sober, I'm like emotional. She literally almost makes me cry every time I talk to her. And but it's been like, it's super easy when you come to a program, and if you fuck up, you have to do 4 years in prison. Like why not just fucking do the 90 days and fucking do it? Like, so I'm like, yeah, I can do this all day long. But the longer I stay here, the more clear my head is getting. And this place is really good. I've been to a lot of rehabs, and even in jail, I was like, what, hey, what's up with Fred Brown's at co-ed? Like I wanted to know, like, and no one was like, man, Fred Brown's like, everyone was like, I heard that place is sweet, and so I was like, all right, whatever. The 2 months wasn't a big deal. I like just kind of just like, I just like gave up. I just surrendered in jail and was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes never to come back to this place. And so I just been like, I've just been doing everything that people ask me to do at Fred Brown. I do everything. I knocked out all my letters. I got no rewrites, and I got super lucky. I came with a couple guys who like wanted the same thing as me. They wanted to get clean. So I just like surrounded myself like around positive people. I just like try to stay away from the negative stuff, and I just like remain grateful like every single day that I'm just alive, and like Like literally, if I would have went to prison and got out, you know how hard it would have been to like get a job and start working and stay away from drugs. Like this program is like the fast track of like getting your life together. Like I don't care what anyone thinks. Like this is the best route is than going to prison. It's just doing this fucking program and just like, you know what I mean? Like there's like, yeah, like just do it. Like it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's 90 days in sober living, and they're not gonna like shoot you out there like good luck. They're gonna make sure you're on your feet and you're like doing your stuff. So, you know, so I was in jail so long. I have like 10 and a half months clean right now, and yeah. Yeah, I haven't had that much clean time in a super long time. And yeah, so I graduate Friday, I leave on the 20th, and yeah, they have me completely ready to level up. Like people are like going to the next phase. I call it leveling up. We're leveling up, baby. You know, I'm like, it's cool. Like one more month, I can start working, and then start working. I can save up for a car. Like run it. Like I got this. Like there's no way that I'm gonna jeopardize what I have right now to go get high on some fentanyl under a bridge. You know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, I'm just like remaining positive. You know, I'm like making short-term goals, and I'm like knocking out the easy goals, and a bunch of easy goals I'll accomplish my big goals. And I just want to get out there. I want to be able to go back to Ohio and see my family. My sister had a kid on what was Easter Sunday? Yeah, my sister had her little Easter baby, and yeah, I'm an uncle to like four nieces and nephews, and I just like want to be able to go home and see my mom without like having my mom doesn't mess around. Like when I come home with warrants, she's like, you should hand yourself in because she's a cop, and I'm just like, fuck. So I have warrants in Ohio. I've been avoiding home for like 7 years. But the judge said if I complete this program, like she'll sign me off so I can just move on with my life. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to like step it up and just be a man. Like I'm almost 40 years old, like, and I've had so many overdoses. I've had like, I feel like I don't have many more restarts in me. You know, I'm either gonna be doing drugs for the rest of my life or I'm gonna get this shit and fucking move forward. Like that's what it boils down to. And so I'm just like, I just like surrendered, and I just have accepted all the damage I've done in the past. And the only way to fix it is to just show my family that I'm doing good. That's all I want. They just want their son, their brother, their kid back. You know, they just want all that stuff. So, you know, I'm super grateful to be here. Thank you, Roxy, for having this program. That's super awesome. And Chris and Jeffrey and Matt and Nancy, like everybody here, like you guys are all awesome. You guys have been nothing but help for me and everybody that you guys are around. Like you guys are doing great. And I don't even feel like that's just the type of people you are. You know what I mean? And it's not like, dude, it's just a good feeling. And yeah, I feel super good. And I'm excited to graduate and level up. And, that's all I got for you.